Ladies and gentlemen, no longer will this show ever be the same again. For you see, the last 2 episodes, I think, maybe 3, we have not had any comments from the one and only Michael Penis. He usually commented on almost every single episode. However, the last few, which have been months ago, yes, I will say. However, he is kind of a dick, and he will be missed. How dare he not comment anymore on my videos? In episode 9, I think, I even said, hey, if anyone's listening, which he listens to every single episode, he told me. I said, someone please nickname my new laptop. Possibly, I even said my older laptop. Did I get any suggestions for nicknames? No. Nay. Horse. Mike is gone, everyone. And this show is even shittier than it already was. Oh well, rip. Anyway, so, honestly though, what the fuck, man? I mean, gosh dang, I still have yet to name this laptop, man, and I fucking demand a name and shit. Don't you think that's ass? I don't know. Anyway, welcome to MetalMouth. It's been a while. Shit happens. We had no, I don't want to make this episode too depressing, so I'll just touch up on it just a really little bit. We recently had 2 deaths in the family recently, and it kind of makes everything a bit inappropriate of a time to do things, and the second one happened very recently. However, like I feel like I've moved on a bit more than everyone else has. I don't know, and found time to do this, and like I don't know, I feel, like everything all of that's past. I don't think that they would want us to keep sulking around. They would want us to move on with our lives and all that, and yeah. Anyway. Just to liven the mood, get some more positivity out there. Just gonna move on from it, and as well as not forget and all that. If anyone has lost a family member, you understand, and it happens to everyone. Everyone dies at the end, and everyone who lives on learns and gets a bit more wiser from it, I think. Hopefully not too scarred from it. I think it's just to keep your head in check is more important. I kept saying that to my family so many times during this whole ordeal, and yeah, it's been rough. But anyway, we should get some more positivity here. Let's talk about dick jokes and fingering pigs. I don't know, bestiality shit. Anyway, boy, I know exactly what I'm going to title this episode as, because there's this one show I really want to help get some more attention, but oh my god, the things I'm saying right now is not going to help. Dick sucking doing this shit. Oh boy. Any kids listening, you should not be listening. I'm sorry. Let's talk about teeth talk first of all. This is MetalMouth Says Stuff for anyone that's new. And I talk about my teeth because I got braces on, and I update every now and then on what's happening. So, teeth talk. All right. So because of like all this that's been happening recently, I haven't worn the rubber bands I got recently for over a week now. Like I when I got them, I was wearing them day after day, but like since this whole thing it's been a while, and that's not good. Even now, like I'm not even wearing them, and it's just, I don't know. I probably after this episode I will, but like it's just I after day by day, like I just like thinking about it, it's like I know it's gonna hurt, it's gonna be sore, and it's like instead of just putting up with it and being responsible, I'm just not wearing them. I'm just complaining about like knowing like what's gonna happen. It's like, fucking, I should just do it. But I got this to do first, so I'm gonna do this. there was that one gap in the middle of my two front teeth that I said a few episodes ago. I don't notice that as much anymore. There's this one gap on one in between two other teeth right now. Not too big of a gap, but it's like I'm noticing things. It's shifting around, and they've told me it's like, less than a year left until I get them off. And just to say it right now, I think I've already said this already, and like, oh my god, like, of course I don't keep my promises when it comes to like projects that are coming out. Like, doing this whole MetalMouth thing kind of helped to give a bit more time for me to not worry about doing too many other projects. Just MetalMouth and Duckcast and possible and like very rare other things on the Duck Brigade possibly, I don't know. And then like just to help write channel reviews and focus on that a bit more. Luckily I finished the Pointless blog review, like I said I was doing for a while, and I think I'm done with the Pointless blog review. I think there's maybe like there's this one line when there's like there's this one word to explain something that's missing, but other than that, I think I'm content with that script, and I'm working on the second script, which is a collab with Mikey Poo, he who should not be named. I need a nickname for my laptop, Mike. It's very important to me. But yeah, right now I'm like in the very beginning of this episode, so I'm not that far into it. But I'm just glad at least I finished the other script. So, it's what I've noticed throughout this process is like I've realized like it's pretty difficult to do a YouTube channel review in the format that I want. Like, it's not exactly like Nostalgia Critic, but I like the whole review / comedy thing. Like, I think for the most part, I focus on the review portion of it with occasional jokes, but there's still jokes in there. It's not like, what's it? I wouldn't even say it's, what the hell? I will be right back. Sorry about that. I had to do some stuff. Got a text. Had to check on something. I think I was saying like the fact that like that I do it the channel reviews in a certain way. It's like there's no real structure to it. There, like with the completionist, for example, he's got a list of things that he goes through in a specific order each and every single time. I forget. My God, it's raining outside. I don't even know if you can hear that. My God. I'm like looking at the sound waves right now on my Audacity. I'm like, I don't know. It's like very small little things. If you hear the rain, I'm sorry. Like with the completionist, is like stuff with like story and gameplay and shit like that, and like specific orders, and like with a video game, you can kind of do that. With a movie, especially, it's very easy, or a show, you just kind of go from the beginning to the end. With a channel, it's like it's very all over the place because you can't do the best amount of research you could do with each and every single channel review. When with my show, it's just kind of gonna be a first impressions kind of feel to it, where it's like, is this good? Is this bad? Why do people think this is good? Let me give my own thoughts about this as a newcomer to it, and that's pretty much it. Like, I'm not trying to expose anyone during the show. I'm not trying to, yeah, I just it's just an everyday guys' thoughts on said channel, and with the channel, it's just, it can be anywhere. You can, oh my God, wait, hold on. Okay, we should be good now, I promise. I think we're good. With like a channel, there's like, you could talk about one video and be like, okay, here's my opinions on this video, which is not bad, but then you gotta like kind of do it at least one or two other times, as well as like give your thoughts on the topic of this format, the specific format that this person's doing, or just like how they come off in the videos, or their editing, or like the fact that like maybe their music is a bit louder than the sound. It's like, okay, this is a professional channel. Why can't they get their editing down like this? I think I talked about that in the Pointless blog review at some point. It's like, I don't know. And there's some things like even at even when I'm satisfied with a script and it's done, I feel like every reviewer is like this. Like they always feel like they could have said something more. But at the same time, it's like it's just a review of just one channel, and at the same time, it's pointless blog. For example, like probably should just get it done with, put it aside. It's just pointless blog. There are more reviews in the future. Like that's really the point I'm trying to get at. Is like there's all these reviews down the line. You want to get to them. It's like there's no point like staying on one channel that's not really gonna make much of a difference to talk about. If it makes much of a difference to you, it really does depend. I say like every single review counts, and like at the same time, there's also got to be this point where you got to move on to another project, and like I'm starting to realize that harshly, and not that like I'm trying to put up with like how a final project is coming out. It's like I don't know. I just feel like as someone who's trying to create something, it's like I feel like I'm always gonna feel that, and I've just gotta learn to let go of a script and like just gotta end it. Gotta end it good still. Gotta still put in some effort each and every single line, but gotta still end it either way. You know, there's always like thing about YouTube too is like a lot of channels. There's a lot of channels that are alike, so there's still opportunities to talk about certain topics and stuff. Even if you didn't touch upon this, which is actually good because then you get to save stuff for future reviews. So, you know, it's good. But there's always that thing in the back of your mind, like, what if people say, "Oh, you didn't bring up this," and like that sucks. But again, gotta move on. Very quickly, like recently, I've talked about like after MetalMouth is done, like I'm gonna try doing the ZIFprod, which is the next and final ZIFprod podcast. The main one which is gonna be, and I'm like working on the logo. I'm just gonna show it up on screen right now. This is not a completed version. Maybe not. Probably not. It was only yesterday that I started to work on this, and like every little edit to it, I started being more and more content with it. I don't think I'm really there yet. I feel like some of the colors are off. Like I'm trying to see what colors work better with each other and what kinds of shading works better than others, like lighter or darker. Some things, like for example the ZIFprod, I really like the color green. Green's my favorite color. I wanted to include green in there. I feel like having ZIF and pod green works better than having anything else. Like it's the, like I feel like the circle in the background should be something other than green. I don't know, the ZIFprod should be like, you know, green should be the color of the channel, of the podcast, of the thing, or whatever. I don't know. And before it was like a lighter green, and I kind of did like this shading kind of thing to it. And which, by the way, keep in mind, I use Sony Vegas, so it's like I'm still trying to learn like what can and can I not do with it. I don't do visual effects too often. I kind of just throw stuff in and see what looks cool. I'm very self-taught, by the way. And so I don't know. I feel like some things look pretty cool. The circle in the background was more of a lighter blue. I'm trying to go by memory here, but like you'll see on the screen right now. But like it kind of made it a bit darker with some shading too. And I think there was like some I don't know, some other thing. And then there was that like one gray line thing on the bottom, which I felt like without something like that would have looked pretty empty. The ZIFprod font and the line thing were two different fonts that I found online. I think this one site was called dafont.com. It's a pretty cool site. It's got a lot of shit. And you could preview stuff, like you type in your own thing in the previews. I think most font websites have that, but like this one, it's pretty cool, and it has a lot of stuff. And so the thing that the line thing came from, I think it came from like this baseball kind of font, you know, with like the little flag underneath it. Kind of looks like a sports flag that goes underneath it. At the same time, I don't know if I should remove it or not, like, or change it with something else. I kind of like it though. I'd like to hear other people's input on it, like what to add in, what to change. I like that the word the, you know, it's called the ZIFprod. It's not called ZIFprod, the ZIFprod, but the is very tiny. It's a gray. I like I feel like it's more like a bit more metallic looking, maybe. Like I was at first, I was like trying to think of like uh, ways to make this logo like should it look more 80s, should it look more metallic, should it look more rugged, and I feel like I kind of mixed as much as I could in there to make it kind of look pretty cool. I don't know. Uh, like the ZIFprod thing looks pretty rugged. The shading on some of the things looks a bit maybe metallic, maybe not. I don't know. Um, and I like looked at like other podcast logos as like reference and like what I would like in a logo, and I really like the circle behind logos and like that how the words kind of overlap the circle a bit. There are some circles in some other logos that like they would get cut off, um, and like the word would like cut through it, so like the circle would kind of be cut. And I tried that, but it didn't really work. So just like the word on top of the circle, I think was fine, and like filling in the circle with a color, like I again like blue, I think might work well, but I'm not sure. Like stuff like colors right now is what I'm focused on right now. Is like what I'm worried about because I'm not too 100%. Like that shade of green, which before was a much lighter shade of green, it looked awful with the ZIFprod. I think it looks better now than it did before. And the blue, I'm not 100% about. Wait, was it blue? I think it's gray now. I think that's what they did. I think it's like a dark gray, maybe, or really dark blue, something like that. Before it was like a light blue, like a turquoise blue. And with Sony Vegas, I kind of made it a lot darker. It looks like a kind of like a button, I think. But I don't know. I like to hear other people's input on it. Anyone that knows how to make cool logos. Like I've only made a few, maybe like two. Yeah, Duckcast and MetalMouth I think has only been it. And the ZIFprod, I would like a logo to be ready by episode 1 of the ZIFprod. Once again, my brace is off and all that. And there's also not 100% confirmed. It's honestly the day that I'm filming this. It was like last night, I think. I was talking to my friends Mike and Cody about this, the idea of like bringing a D&D style show to ZIFprod, audio only, and no idea what it would be about, whether it would be in outer space or medieval times or modern times or whatever the hell. The idea of that, and like if we get a name of the show down, I would like to make a logo for that. So it's like, I don't know, this ZIFprod logo being my third logo I've made or being made, I would like some cool pointers on like some cool ideas of what to do. Right now I feel like the line underneath the ZIFprod, whether or not I'm going to keep that line and replace it with a different sort of line, is a cool idea. I like the circle around the thing. I like the idea that it's not just a transparent circle. There's a solid color behind it. Shading around the words is cool. I don't know. I like some of the effects that are being put on some of the visuals right now. It's just color. Color right now is what I'm worried about. But if anyone could help me out, that would be cool. All right, so let's talk about the title of this episode, which is Power Rangers HyperForce. Currently, my favorite show right now. Fuck Breaking Bad. No, I'm a huge Power Rangers fan, by the way, if anyone didn't know. And when this was first announced, I think before Halloween, I think. I've never been into D&D up until now. Like, I wasn't too sure of like how this was gonna go, if this was going to be scripted or not. Like, if I knew that I was gonna be live and on Twitch. Like, I was already into Twitch at this time, but I didn't know how the format was going to go. I didn't know exactly how D&D went. Actually, I don't even think it was labeled as D&D. It was kind of just like role-playing. Or at some point, it sounded like tabletop. I didn't know if there was going to be like not just rolling dice, but also little pegs that you put on a map, like kind of like a Candyland thing, and you move the characters around and you go into scenarios. I didn't know what the show was how it was going to be made. But it's 100% D&D. It's improv. And I'm a huge admirer of improv. Like, I love Whose Lines Is It Anyway? I've done improv in high school independently. There was no program for it, but my friends got together and we performed in front of class a few times. And yeah, I just really love improv, and like the cast themselves. They've got Peter Sidarso, who from episode 2 of MetalMouth, he's the Blue Ninja Steel Power Ranger currently, and he's playing the Red Ranger, which is so fun for him. I'm so jealous of him, but at the same time, it's really fun. It's really exciting that he is, and at the same time, he's also the first Asian actor who's played a Red Power Ranger. Like, of course, in Japan, every single actor is Asian descent, but in America, like, this is also the first American team, like no team brought from Japan, like it's completely Americanized or American made and stuff, and also the designs of the suits are made by Peter Sidarso, which there's some complaints about him, but I'm personally fine and perfectly fine with it. It's raining, and let me think. The Blue Ranger is Andre Black Nerd Comedy, which is so awesome. Like he's a huge fan of the Power Rangers too, and he's finally a Ranger. And Paul Schreier, who played Bulk in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, he's the Yellow Ranger, and like he's finally a Power Ranger. And it's like most people that have heard about that news is like, whoa, this show is really neat. I'm gonna give it more of a shot. Thank God Paul Schreier's a part of this. He's amazing at improv, and like he plays a really damn good character of Jack. And every single person on this show, by the way, has like a very memorable character. Like not one character is like meh. Like Eddie, like Andre is like the only one, because he doesn't talk so much. He's the only one I feel like I would like more out of. However, he has his moments as much as everyone else, and it's fantastic. Let me think again. The Black Ranger, first female Black Ranger, is Christina V. She's a voice actress. She's also the girlfriend of Nate Wants to Battle, apparently. I think she voiced Shantae from that video game Shantae, some other voice roles, and other than that, anime, I think. Yeah, she's really neat. She's hysterical. She plays Vesper, and she's, well, not to spoil anything, but she's got some shit about her, and she's really funny. She's got some of the best one-liners, I swear to God. And then the Pink Ranger is that one other YouTuber, Starberry17, that friend of Joey Gracevas, I think. I'm not a fan of her channel. However, since HyperForce, I have been a huge admirer of her talents. Like I feel like I've checked out her channel a bit after finding out she was on HyperForce and stuff, and like seeing her on HyperForce, I mean, and like I'm not a fan of her content. I wish she's really talented at improv, and she's. I can kind of tell like how she got an audience. She's got a great personality as well, and it's just a shame that she doesn't put any of that talent or like skit comedy or even a web series or just improv, something. Maybe she could have her own D&D thing or a podcast. I don't know. I feel like she should put some more of her talent into her channel, and I don't know. I think what does she do? Cooking videos? Let me look up. I know she has a gaming channel, which it's whatever. I said that so harshly. I didn't mean it like that. I'm sorry. Let me see here. Okay, so she does some vlogging. She does some DIY stuff. So I was wrong about the cooking. Maybe she does cooking. I don't know. Looks like a lot of DIY stuff though. DIYs and vlogs. Alright. However, she does upload on her gaming channel a whole lot more, like pretty much daily. A lot of Minecraft. So, Questcraft. What the hell is Questcraft? That's very hard to say. Baycraft? Wait. Okay, no, this is Minecraft. It's not its own fan-made game. She's just calling other things. Yeah, it's exclusively Minecraft. Oh, there's also occasional Sims. Slime Rancher. I'm shitting on her channel. I don't know. Sorry. God, this is going to be channel reviews in a nutshell. But yeah, no, on HyperForce, I have so much respect for her, and if I ever met her, I'd just be a fan of her as the pink HyperForce Ranger, and not as her as a YouTuber, but, you know, her as a person, she's wonderful. Every single person on there is absolutely amazing. Yeah. And they've got the most amazing GM, Malika Lim, who is also a huge Power Rangers fan. She came up with the system itself, and like, she's clearly putting her all into this show, and I commend her for that, or commend her. What's the word? I think commend. I'm an idiot. Anyway, I can't English today, so uh, I want to talk about the show as much as I can. Like for any Power Rangers fans here that have not given it a chance, and if you've heard about Hyperforce and been like, oh yeah, I've seen the morph sequence. Fuck out of here, man. Just give it a chance. Oh, I've seen one episode. Did you pay attention to that episode? No, but fuck you. It's like stuff like that. Like most of the critiques I hear about Hyperforce that or anything negative are A, from people that sound like they haven't seen one episode, B, have not given the show a chance when listening to the episode, like maybe given like a few minutes a chance. C, all of the above. Anyway, yeah, it's just a real shame. Like as someone who was skeptical about the show when it was announced, not knowing at all what the hell I was getting myself into, and then when it aired, I was like, I don't know if I'm really gonna get into this. And then after the first hour, after the first episode, after the first 2 episodes, after the first 3 episodes, continuously, I was like, hell yeah, this show is amazing. The people that are part of it are so confident that this is a fun time for everyone and is perfectly safe here in the 25th anniversary of Power Rangers, which is exciting. I think it's way better than recent years of Power Rangers on TV. Like, there's some complaints like, oh, the fact that this isn't on TV isn't official. I shouldn't give it the time of day because it's not on TV, period. Like, it's, fuck out of here. It's like, come on, give it a chance. Be open-minded, be patient, and you might just get rewarded pretty handsomely. The show airs live on Twitch, the Hyper RPG YouTube, Twitch channel, 6 p.m. Western, or Pacific, I mean, and 9 p.m. Eastern, and gets uploaded a week after it airs on YouTube. Also, the show, I'm like going all over the place right now. The show is about like the characters are like 4 Time Force cadets and 1 Time Force officer, set in the future 3017, I think it was, yeah. And after some shit goes down, they hop aboard a ship and try to follow these bad guys throughout time, and it's really neat. And they meet past Rangers at their prime when they were Rangers, and it's really cool. They've so far had 4 guests on. 4? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and they've all been great. Recently I had JDF on, which was awesome, and yeah. My for anyone that hasn't like got into the show, like clearly like the show's on YouTube. You can catch up on those. Keep in mind each episode's 3 hours long, or about 3 hours long. Just like I still think you're gonna enjoy it, even though it's not live. But like keep in mind, like when you watch it live, it's so much better of an experience because A, it's live. You're there seeing everything happen, and B, because it's live, and because it's Twitch, you got the live chat. You've got live reactions from people, not just text, but like, you know, Twitch has a lot of emotes, which give the chat more of a personality, and it's just so much fun to see people's reactions, like with one-liners and plot and other shit that goes down. It's so good, and you know, the YouTube channel version, like they don't keep the chat in, so I understand like there's not enough room on the screen to put the chat. But if there's one critique I have of like the YouTube uploads on their YouTube channel, I wish there was the Twitch chat that you can see, so then you can kind of feel like you're a part of it. I don't think maybe it's kind of like on the lines of like a reaction video, but less toxic in a way, because it's just fun. It's just fun to like. It's like a party. You're not alone, like watching this. You feel like you're at a big Power Rangers party. All these fans are there, and you're all having a good time watching this episode. And it's just great. So by the time you get caught up with with all the episodes, I mean, and finally sit down one Tuesday and watch it live, you'll see it's really fun experience. And there's nothing like watching it live. I think that goes for any Twitch broadcast. It's a good time. I'm gonna leave Hyper RPG's Twitch and YouTube channels in the description. By the way, like I highly, highly, highly recommend any and all Power Ranger fans to give this a shot. If you are a Mighty Morphin fanboy, by the way, please don't be toxic. Don't be stubborn. Be patient. Be open-minded. Give the show a chance. Again, if you've heard about the show and completely wrote it off, don't be that guy. Just don't. Be cool about it. We're all just trying to have a good time here, and like as one fan to another, I promise you, from the bottom of my Ranger heart, the show is godlike. It is golden. It is, it's my favorite anniversary season of Power Rangers ever. And next to RPM, which is my favorite season of all, HyperForce, I don't know, maybe I'm stubborn about RPM being my favorite season, but I feel like I want to say HyperForce is my favorite Power Ranger season of all time. Like, it's just that good. I really do think people should give it more of a chance. It's phenomenal. By the time I'm recording this, they recently did episode 10. They're going to do episode 11 this Tuesday, and it's really cool. Oh wait, one more thing to say about one more little critique, which I understand why they do this, but I would like it to be this other thing for newcomers. The fireside chat, which is the 30-minute to 45-minute interview after each episode, where they get the cast and the guests on to talk about the episode and what they thought, and they have a good time. With their Twitch channel, because it's an independent company that they've got going on, they need all the money they can get to keep doing what they do, because they do more shows than just Power Rangers HyperForce, by the way. I haven't really given too many chances. I hear the puppet one is hilarious. There's this one where it's kind of like a Muppet thing. They have puppets, and apparently it's hysterical from what I've heard. But they've also got a Star Wars one on there, and a Valiant one on there, and I don't know. And so, like, with their Twitch channel, if you subscribe to their Twitch channel, you can get exclusive content. Like, if you see the episode live, if you see the Fire Chat live, you won't need to pay to see it again. But for those that didn't get a chance to see the Fireside Chat, or want to see the episode of HyperForce with the live chat, like, that's the only way you get to see the chat that was there live. Because, like, with Twitch, it records the whole chat the whole way through with every podcast it has on that site. So if you subscribe to the Twitch channel, you get access to the episodes with the live chat and the fireside chat and anything else you would want. And even what they have going on, which is pretty cool, every episode, like, every 30 subs, they, like, give away stuff, and it's like, that's pretty cool. And also, like, just to give extra to people that really do deserve it. And like, as much as, like, again, I understand that whole thing, at the same time, I wish, like, the newcomers got the chance to see Fireside Chat. Like, I wish it was, like, plucked right at the end of an episode of HyperForce. Like, keep it in that recording and just keep it at the end. But at the same time, I understand it's exclusive content that you can pay for, and it makes sense. It makes sense. It's rare, it's special, and yeah. But other than that, just the live chat in the YouTube version. Can we get that? Can we kind of squeeze that in? I know there's no room on the screen to put that in, but if it's at all possible, that would be really much appreciated. At the same time, I understand how that could be exclusive to pay for too, but I mean, it's like, if people don't think that's worth paying for, I mean, I beg to differ. It's pretty new experience. It's its own thing. When you're there live, and when you feel like you're there live, it's just great. Let me see here. I think we're gonna move on from that. I know I had a lot of breaks in between, like, leaving the recording here for a bit, and like my recording says it's like over 40 minutes, but like I'm sure it's like way less than that. So I'm trying to keep in mind like I should probably go on a bit more. I have some notes down, but I don't know if anyone would be too interested. Like there's some little things that are like from forever ago, which I don't even think I could touch up on too much, because like I don't think I can remember too much from him. It would be so minuscule. Let's just see how many we could blow by. Let's see, South Park games. And I think a month or two ago, I played Stick of Truth again for the second time. And if anyone remembers that one part in Mr. Slave's ass, we were trying to defuse the bomb and shit, and you know, the first thing at the abortion clinic, it was easy. That's the line that's going to be taken out of context for sure. You know, that part was easy, but like in Mr. Slave's ass, I remember my first time playing it. Like it took me a while to do it too, and I was aggravated as hell. But I eventually got to successfully do it. This time around, I just couldn't. I kept blowing up the world, and this long cutscene that just wouldn't skip, and the end credits that just wouldn't skip, and it was very long and annoying. And I just couldn't take it anymore. It's been a while since I did that. So, yeah. And then I recently purchased the Fractured Butthole. Also the new South Park game. I have yet to play that though. I have yet to download it. Like I got the physical copy. It was like, I think like on GameStop they had like the price was cut in half, and I had a gift card. So, and also I don't think they had the digital version. I think actually the digital version was $60 when the physical copy was $30. I think that's what it was. So of course I got the physical copy of Stick of Truth anyway, so might as well get the physical copy of the second South Park game too. So yeah, again, I just have yet to download it and play it, but I hope it's gonna be fun. The battle system is new. It's the tiles instead of the just simple turn-based. It's still turn-based, I think, but yeah, I don't know too much about the game too, so it's gonna be exciting when I first play it. I hope it's good. Next on the list, Nostale, another game that I have not played in a bit. It's just kind of a grindy game. I just listen to music when I play. It's just you know, do level up, do quest, blah blah blah. I don't know. You could see other players in it in real time. I don't know if anyone would like to join me at some point. Nostale, it's like cute little chibi characters. Oh my god, I keep hiccuping. And then yeah. And let's see what else here. Star Wars: The Old Republic, MMORPG. It's for Star Wars, and it's fun. I haven't done that in a while. And yeah, if you pay to the game and shit for like subscriptions, you get to level up your character to I think 75 or something. But like if you don't pay, it's up to 50, and it's like I see all these other players. Oh no, 75, 70 you can go up to. It's like I see all these other players at 70, and it's like, wow, there's a lot of players at 70, but I don't want to pay for nothing for this game. It's kind of it's kind of weird too. Like I don't know if this game was always free. I don't think it was. I think I might have read somewhere that it wasn't, but like this game, for a free game, like it's got a lot packed into it, like a lot of worlds that must have taken forever to do, a lot of character models and items and clothing and everything, and like just the programming in this game must have taken forever. But like this game came out years ago, and it's like it's still going on. It's like, I don't know, it's just really neat. It's really freaking neat. The story, by the way, it's boring as hell. Like they put a lot of effort into like hiring voice actors for like a lot of the cutscenes. Like every single cutscene has voice acting, and there's many characters in this game. But the writing is kind of boring. Like I don't know if anyone that has played this game like got interested in the plot at all. But it's just like generic like war stuff, and like help save this person, or defeat those guys over there, and because it's like, I don't know. You could click the space bar. It took me a few months after playing the game that I realized you could just hit the space bar to skip cutscenes. Like the whole time I was just like with my hand on my cheek, just like, just hurry up. Waiting through the entire cutscenes and shit. But like, yeah, you can just skip them. Uh, like the gameplay is just like it's mindless fun. That's really it. It's just mindless fun. And like, if you don't have a laptop that can play it decently, you're probably not gonna have a good time. You're probably gonna waste your time downloading the whole game because the game takes forever to download. And when you even have the game, like say you haven't played it for a week, uh, it's the re-verification of who you are that the game needs to make sure who you are takes forever as well. Um, always make sure you open up the launcher before I say 2 or 3 days. Um, for me, I haven't opened it up in a while, so I'm gonna have to do like an overnight thing, like have it re-verify, which is But yeah, and it ruins your bandwidth too, by the way, like the download and everything. Like I highly recommend if you ever do download this game, do it overnight. Holy hell, it's awful. But when you get the game, it's fun. What's not to like, huh? Uh, I have one other thing on here, but like it would be like the thing to end it off on, which I don't think is like that great, and it's also forever ago, which very underwhelming, I guess, just to end it off on. For like the topic, it's like so cringy, but like I don't know. I guess I'll do it. A few episodes ago, I talked about like when I got my new laptop. It came with like Minecraft just so I can test out to see if the specs on the laptop are pretty neat and shit. And because it's Minecraft PC version, there's modded servers you can use. And I talked about PokeFind. There was this other server I was going to talk about, which for those that watch Peanut Butter Gamer's gaming channel, you would know what it is. It's the server that has Mine Z on it, the Shotbow server. And over the summer, I like months and months ago, like this is how long ago it was. I tried that server out, and like in the game, you're just by yourself, but you can also come across not just zombies, but also other players who, yes, can kill you if they want. And you don't have to kill other players. You can team up with other players, but a lot of the time, man, you get killed off. My first few days were definitely that. I remember my first day, like, just being terrified of, like, not only, like, because, like, I have my headphones on, I'm, like, making sure I'm, like, listening to my surroundings if I hear someone running up on me or a zombie growl or anything. Which, by the way, zombies are, like, faster in this game, and they do more damage to you and shit. And you can get items to heal yourself, but it's, like, you don't exactly get those right off the bat. All that you get is, like, a bandage, an eye, which you can communicate with other players if you want, a water bottle, and a sword, I think. A wooden sword, which is shit. And like, I remember getting killed off so many times until a point, like on my first day, like I met two dudes who seemed pretty neat, and they were like, "Yo, want to go to a dungeon?" Sure. And I was like, sure. And it was like it was cool up until like, okay, so most dungeons in this game, by the way, are pretty dark, with a few torches lit around. Um, and this one dungeon was like a big spiral staircase down into this pit, and so we were like, tiptoeing our way down, and like, it was like, stay together, saying stuff like that, up until the point where the two got ahead of me, and I was like, all right, I'll catch up with them. I guess I'm just being like, they were like kind of cruising by it pretty easily, while I was like tiptoeing, and so it was in the dark, so I slipped and fell way, way down, and I fell and died terribly. And then they messaged me like, "Yo, you dead?" I'm like, "Yeah," and and so that was that. I forget the guy's name, but they were cool. And then the second day, which actually I think it was the second day where things got really interesting. After a few deaths and shit, there's this one town called Portsmouth in the south of the map. Which, by the way, this whole map is like for those that've seen the Mind Z thing, there's like uh, uh, player made towns and cities and all that. So it's not just a random Minecraft world or anything. Um, there's this one town called Portsmouth, and apparently there was like this so many people here, and they all had a truce. They were all like, peace, we're not gonna kill anyone. um there was a few people that were like, hey, we're gonna anyone want to go out and fight a giant or something, and or like want to go to other towns and loot up and shit, and some of us were like, yeah, and I was like, sure. So I joined a big old group, and honestly, like, the game is the most fun when you come across players that don't want to kill you, surprisingly enough, and just want to have fun. In the game, like, you can, if you heal players certain enough times with certain items, you can get a tag at the end of your name that says healer. But if you kill a certain number of players, you get a tag at the end of your name that says bandit. And, usually when people see the bandit tag, they either run for their lives, hide, or want to fight them because they're bandits, and bandits just want to kill other players. Which I personally do not agree with at all. I just don't, like, I understand why they do it. Like, of course, you kill a player, you get their loot, you get more loot. It makes sense. That's a way to get more loot without having to loot towns and get your back stabbed while looting through a chest or anything. I get that. However, these aren't just NPCs. These aren't just digital characters or anything. These are real players that are trying to have a fun time. And when you see them with a group, when you see a big group together, having a good time, by the way, when a player dies, you respawn in a random area. You cannot teleport to new areas. You have to walk all the way there. Or you can kill yourself and hope and pray that you teleport near an area that you would like to go to. Like if you say, hey, let's meet up here if we all die. Hope and pray that you respawn near that place. If not, keep killing yourself over and over, and then you're there, which is tedious as fuck. I've only been in a Discord voice chat twice, I think, with other players. The first time I was at, like, there was one group I came across. They were in a Discord chat, and they were very quiet, and they explained they were in a Discord chat, and I was like, all right. And they asked me to, like, hey, you wanna join us on the channel? And it's like, yeah, nah. And like it took some time when I noticed like everyone was like quiet enough, and it was like, oh, I'm probably missing out on some of this shit. I want to join too. I was like, fuck it. And so this was like around the time when I wasn't even using Discord that much. So I wasn't really like sure how to use it too much. Should I use push to talk or whatever? But no, I decided, yeah, whatever, why not? So I joined it, and they were pretty cool dudes. Some of them apparently I played with a few days prior to being on the voice channel with them, and I was like, oh shit, this is pretty neat. However, like it was like a group of like 7 or 8 of us, I think, and as cool as it was, like there was 2 people in this group that kind of were pretty annoying. One of them was a kid. Of course, it's Minecraft. I think like maybe he was 12 or 13, I think he sounded like. And then, of course he was very loud. He kept doing this thing into the mic. He had a really bad mic, by the way. But he kept doing the sound like, I hope not to gross people out too much by this, but just imagine constantly hearing this. Like, I don't know, just that. I don't know what he was doing. I don't know. I made a joke here and there, like, with some of the dudes, like, friendly, like, oh, yo, give me a kiss, mwah, stuff like that. And, like, I think the kid just, like, heard me doing that, and, like, overdid it and stuff, like, I don't know. Like, usually when I'm in a group, I'm, like, usually the one that's cracking the most jokes. Like, I like to liven the mood and stuff, have a good time. And, I don't know. There was this kid, and then there was, not to offend anyone or anything. It's just how it is. But like there was this one dude who was clearly on the spectrum, and he he was very he didn't really leave a lot of dead air a lot of times, and was very loud as well. For a group of like 7 or 8 people, you want to chat, you want to tell people, hey, we're going here and stuff. You want to have fun moments, everyone wants to get a chance to have a fun one liner or something, just having a good time. But these two guys, like they kind of annoyed a lot of us. Like I could kind of tell from like people's voices, like they were getting on people's nerves, and you know, it was just weird. This one guy too, the guy on the, it sounds bad saying the guy on the spectrum. I'm on the spectrum a bit too. Like I don't know if that helps this at all, but I just kind of see every now and then on Discord it says he's playing Roblox or something. It's like, yeah, of course. I don't know. It was a weird one. The second chat, like maybe a month later or something. I was very silent in both. Really, I'm a pretty shy dude. Like in Minecraft, there's a text chat, and I'm more talkative in that. Cracking more jokes and everything. And then in the voice channel, a lot more silence. But to be fair, like there was just not enough room to speak at all. So it got a bit weird. I don't know. I think I would rather prefer playing or communicating with the text thing. However, if I was with friends that I knew, I would totally do it on Discord and play the game like that. But like, yeah, I've never really played MineZ with any friends I actually knew. I've only met players through that game. One player that like we became really close buds. Like every time we were on, like see each other on, like, yo, we're gonna team up. We're gonna fight giants and shit and loot up. This dude called Cole BL10. I think he said he was gonna change his name. I don't know. It's been months since I've spoken to him, but like he's been cool. I've never talked to him in voice channel, but he's been cool. I think most of the players that played the game, and I'm pretty sure Cole was too, I think they're teenagers, 14, 15, maybe 16, around that age. It feels pretty weird, the age that I'm at now, playing with kids like this, but at the same time, they were pretty mature for their age. Like, honestly, like, every now and then they would say some things that would be a bit like, that's weird. But for the most part, it was, like, I wouldn't have played the game if it wasn't enjoyable, like, if the players weren't enjoyable. And for the most part, they were. Like, 50% of the time, you'll run into players that want to kill you, but like other times you run into players, you say peace. I usually say peace with the little heart thing with the arrow and the 3, that little thing. I be cute with it. I can't even English today. Wow. And I don't know, it's just it was just a fun time. It's been a while since I played. I remember over the summer it was like packed with players. There's usually like 3 servers open every time at all times, and then after the summer, after school started, I remember just trying to log in a few other times after that, and like each server couldn't like very rarely ever go up like over 15 players or something. I think some of the nights were a bit more packed, but not as much as the summertime. And a lot of the people that I played with, I remember, such as Cole, like, I would notice not logging in as much, kind of proving the theory that, yeah, they probably are under 18. So, yeah, a bit weird. But at the same time, they were still a ton of fun to play with. And if next summer comes around and I decide to play MineZ again, I would have a lot of fun. One thing I'll say about like playing during the summer and playing after the summer, comparing the two, it's like, during the summer, with there being a lot of players, it's most likely that you will come across someone that will want to kill you, and not be able to loot as much. After summer ends, you'll most likely be more free to loot up most towns and shit. However, there will be times that you'll probably come across someone and they'll want to kill you, but very rarely, not as much as during the summertime, not as frequent as well. But at the same time, I feel like, playing after the summer, it makes the setting more scary too, because it's like you barely see anyone until that one rare moment, and it's like it's just, then you're not used to communicating with players as often, so it becomes even more of a trust issue, and I don't know. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but for me it's a bad thing, because it's like I just want to have fun with other players. It's like I don't know. I think I was gonna say before too, like, thing about bandits is like, I've been in one voice channel, and there was one that I think one of the bandits that was a popular bandit on the game in the game that was in our voice channel. I recognized their username. I didn't really speak to them that much. I was pretty quiet. I was pretty shy, but not to. It is a bit of a judging kind of thing with me and them. Like how they spoke when it came to the topic of, bandits and like letting other players live. They sounded very angry, but not in the way where it's like I can get behind that, fair enough. It was more of the stubborn kind of angry, where it was like, I'm gonna play this game for selfish fun, I'm gonna ruin other people's fun, and I don't care, that kind of thing. And it was a girl too, I remember. Yeah, it was weird. And if it kind of like it always, like, I every now and then when there would be either bandits or like other players that just wanted to become bandits, after like me and my group would scare them off and stuff, and it's like there would be times that they would be like in the chat like, yeah, whatever, screw you guys, whatever, like in a very mean way. And it's like, at the same time, it's just a game, but at the same time they take it so seriously, and it's like, we just want to have fun. And I would be very sassy in the chat. I would be the one to be like, they would be saying like, but that's the game. You can kill players. It's like, I agree, but I feel like there's this whole political thing with Mind Z, with me, but like, I feel like it doesn't have to be this certain way where like, oh yeah, players kill other players. That's just the way it is. The community itself could be so much more of a fun place. I'm not talking about like a Disney corny ass place. I'm not talking about players that should never kill each other. I just think, like, I feel like stuff like putting the tag bandit at the end of a player's name is a bit of a really weird reward to give to players for doing something so vile. And I feel like it just makes the community feel a bit more toxic when you have players like that. And there's a lot of players that want to become that, and it's like, come on. It's like, a lot of players that I did group up with were players that, like, they just solely want to have a fun time with the game. They don't want to have a tedious death and respawn and find their players again and re-loot. And it's like, re-looting can be fun when you're finally grouped up with your friends again, but it's like, the point of looting up is we wanted to fight giants. We wanted to be geared up enough to fight giants and shit. But no, there had to be players that ruined everyone else's time for their own selfish thing. And why don't they just want to join? Why don't they just want to join? They want to be alone. Every bandit I've seen has either been alone or with one other person. Not in a big group of bandits. I've never seen a big group of bandits. They just like playing alone like that, I guess. It's just a damn shame that there aren't more players that are praising or like sorry, not praising, I can't really think of the word, just saying like, hey, it's better to lean more on the positive than not that just like, fuck, it's hard to explain. Just be kind to other players. Stop being a loner, you loner. I don't know. There's some like alliances people come up with that you can like sign up to like be a part of. Like there's this one called the Dawn Brigade, which Cole mentioned, like, hey, I'm thinking of joining this thing, Dawn Brigade. I'm like, what is that? And he explained to me, and I was like, all right, I'll join it. And He got in pretty quickly, and then for me, like, it took like I think 2 weeks, 2 very long weeks of me being like, haven't gotten in. He keeps asking me for 2 weeks, like, hey, you got in yet? And I'm like, not yet. And like it was like forever, to a point where like Cole kept like messaging the admins over there, like on the Discord thing, like being like, hey, my friend, did you get his invite thing? And they're like, no. It got apparently one day, like, he was just like, we were like talking about it, and he was like, so wait, let's just like overview this. Like, you went to this certain website, right? And he like sent me the link, and I like opened the link, and it's like, oh wait, I've never seen this link before. And he like face palmed in the chat. It's like, oh my god, this whole time you asked to be a part of this whole thing. 2 weeks of me standing up for you and shit, and you don't even sign up for the right thing. So then I finally did the thing, and then I think after a week, the admin got back to me. He's like, congratulations, you're a part of the Dawn Brigade. And then I was a part of the Dawn Brigade, and then around that time, before I was even able to do anything with the brigade and possibly raise my rank in the brigade, like, Hurricane Irma happened. I live in Florida, so Hurricane Irma happened, and even though it didn't hit us as bad as Miami, it still took a while for the roads to get cleared up and everything, and like, so one day, like, after we got our internet back and power back and all that, I went on Discord, and I saw on the side thing on my list of groups that I was a part of, I wasn't a part of the Dawn Brigade group thing anymore. And my friend Cole was like messaging me like, if you don't talk in the Discord for a while, they're not gonna keep you in the Dawn Brigade. They're gonna kick you out. So I was like, yeah, they already kicked me out. So after 2 weeks of not hearing anything back, Cole standing up for me, bothering the people over there, being like, my friend wants to be in your brigade. Then me finally joining the brigade. It was all for naught, and I'm no longer part of. I haven't been part of the Dawn Brigade for a while now, which sucks. The brigade was all about like pretty much anti-bandit stuff, like helping out new players, healing new players, giving them loot, bringing them to dungeons and other things. Letting them have a good time, not in that sexual way. I mean, come on, it's Minecraft. When has anything ever been sexual in Minecraft? So anyway, yeah. And I think that's how I'm going to end this episode, with Minecraft. Just to go back quickly, though, again, in the description, I will leave a link to HyperRPG's Twitch and YouTube channel to check out HyperForce, Power Rangers HyperForce, a show that every and any Power Ranger fan should get into. It is a hidden gem that should not be a hidden gem. It should be widely known, and it should get more and more seasons. Like, they've only have a certain number of episodes they got a contract for, and they with more support they'll get into a season 2. And I really do think that this show deserves a whole lot more support, and I feel like the company HyperRPG deserves a whole lot more support as well. And yeah, so anyway, this podcast, by the way, this is my second take doing I did this podcast, the same thing, but I felt like the other version of it, the first take, 40 something minutes long, by the way, it wasn't as good. I feel like I didn't explain as much with things in that one. I think I talked about the Mind Z thing actually a whole lot more. Maybe I talked about a whole lot more here compared to that. I don't know. I feel like I talked about HyperForce a lot more on this one, and a lot better on this one than I did on the last one, for sure. So I'm glad I did the second take here. I'm glad I felt like as authentic as it came out as it did with the first take. So that's good. That's really good. Anyway, thank you all for listening to this episode. Sorry that there hasn't been an episode in a while. Again, Hurricane Irma and two deaths in the family can do that. So yeah. Hopefully I can get another episode. I say that every time, but hopefully there can be another episode soon, and not just one episode a month and all that. Plus, by the way, I think I said this already in the earlier in this episode, but less than a year left until I get the braces off. So MetalMouth is gonna be ending soon, ish. Well, not like recent months or anything, but like this year. Yeah. Don't know if the ZIFprod's gonna come out this year or not. Maybe beginning of next year, like I did with MetalMouth. But yeah. Also, going back to that logo thing, the ZIFprod logo. If anyone can go back to that, look at it, and give me some pointers and input, and that would be great. I would really like to finish that logo already, just to move that along. So anyway, thank you all for listening. Hopefully you can get a guest on, actually, for the next episode. That would kind of help to get the next episode out faster if I can just get a guest on, which should not be too difficult. I know some people that would like to be on, so that would be cool. All right, anyway, see ya.